Hi, everyone. Welcome back to At the Table, the only show that asks you to pull up your chairs, grab your role-play books, and join us at the table. So today, what we're going to do, because in the last time we met, we didn't have enough time to cover everything the Inventor has to offer. Truly, it is the juiciest of steaks. So we decided to break this up into a 3-part episode. The last one we went over was just the class features.
Yeah.
If you haven't had a chance to look at it, check it out. It is insane. All the choices you can have. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go into the feats of the Inventor. Everything from 1 to 20. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be a trip.
Oh, yeah.
Without further ado, let's introduce ourselves. Mr. Michael Powell, tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, I am Michael Powell, a.k.a. Mr. Kapow. You can find me all over the internet on my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow. That's M-R-K-A-P-A-O. And how about you, PJ?
My name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. When I'm not here Tuesdays with Mr. Michael Powell, I'm here Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time doing our flagship Pathfinder 2nd Edition show, Edge of Legend. And as the Green War wages on, this next episode is going to be a fun game of goblins. So, without further ado, let's get cracking at these feats. It's going to be an awesome ride.
Let's get to it.
This has been a long one.
Yeah.
We might actually have to break this up into a few parts today because it took an hour and a half just to talk about the traits that this class gets, because that's how extensive they are. Adam Jenner put it in the class, the Inventor is not a noob-friendly class.
Yeah.
And you are correct, it is not, simply because there are so many options that you have to consider.
I think that's why it's listed also as a uncommon class also.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing with this playtest. First of all, this playtest is amazing. The Gunslinger gives you a very fun DPS class that has all the gun flavor you want, all the gun insanity you want, but it also can work in fantasy settings with crossbows. This gives you probably the most meticulous class that you could have, the most hands-on, which makes sense for Inventor, most hands-on class that allows you to tank, DPS, or send out your metabot to fight for you.
Yeah. Actually, if anything, I'm actually liking this class more than this Gunslinger, which actually really surprises me.
Yeah, well, I think what's so cool about this class is that it offers so much creative potential. And we haven't even gotten to the feats, which is the part 2 of 3 we're going to do right now, because the part 3 is just companion alone, because there's so much stuff just for the companion.
Yeah.
And we're going to reference that after, because we have 20 levels of feats to get through. So let's start cracking right now.
All right, let's get to it.
Here we go. Give us coffee, give me strength. First level, built-in tools. Feat 1. It's an Inventor modification feat. You've built tools into your innovation, allowing you to use them easily. When you take this feat, choose a set of tools that you own 1 bulk or less, which become part of your innovation without increasing its bulk. As long as you're wielding, wearing, or adjacent to your innovation, you have the same quick access to these tools as the tools you're wearing, and they don't count against the usual limit of the tools you can wear. So this is really cool because now you can have your little Robo Gremlin pop up and then like reach in and pull out lockpicks and things.
PJ.
Yeah.
This is R2-D2.
I was just thinking that. Damn it, Michael, you read my brain.
This is why we're friends. This is why you, me, friend.
See, we get that wavelength.
Yeah. All right, the next one is Explosive Leap. It's also a level 1 feat. It's 1 action, fire, inventor, move, and unstable. You aim an explosion downward and directly beneath your feet to launch yourself in the air. You jump 30 feet in any direction without touching the ground. You must land on a space of solid ground within 30 feet of you, or else you fall during your next action. Special, if your innovation is a minion, it can take this action rather than you. So this is just basically is propel jump.
Yeah, propel jump. I'm also thinking of like, and again, sorry, Reaped, I can't stop thinking 40K. Those like Falcon jump packs that Space Marines have. They're like, you know, fool the Emperor. Like this giant jump. Adam Jenner also made a good point. You could put a healer's kit in your mall. I think that's awesome. Prototype companion. You've created a construct companion, and while it might not be an innovation, it serves as a trustworthy minion. You get a prototype construct companion. We'll cover that in the companion part, and that's it. Cool.
Yeah. Really quick. We had RTD2. With this, it becomes C3PO. Human cyborg relations.
Oh, Master likes to build giant guns that go boom. I'm just there to serve him tea.
All right.
I love that, though. You get a little bit of both.
All right. Next one is Tamper. It's a one-action ability. It's a feat you get at level 1. Inventor and Manipulate. You tamper with a foe's weapon or armor. Choose either a weapon held by an enemy within your reach or a suit of armor worn by an enemy in your reach. Attempt a crafting check against the enemy's reflex DC. Critical success. Your tampering is incredibly effective. If you tampered with a weapon, the enemy takes a -2 circumstance penalty to attack rolls and damage rolls with that weapon. If you tampered with armor, the armor hampers the enemy's movement, causing them to be flat-footed and take a -10 penalty to their speeds. Either effect lasts until the enemy interacts to remove the effect. Success, your tampering is temporarily effective as critical success, but the effect ends after one round, even if the enemy hasn't interacted to end it. And critical failure, your tampering backfires dramatically, causing a small explosion from your own tools or gear. You take fire damage equal to your level. This is actually pretty cool because you're essentially you become a gremlin and you're throwing a monkey wrench in your enemy's item stuff. And yeah, the fact that the critical success, it can last during the entire combat unless your enemy uses an interact action.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw my face. My jaw was pretty much in my lap because, yeah, critical success may or may not be difficult depending on how you're statted yourself. 10 over the DC is such an awesome thing. But the fact that you are this Swiss Army frontline fighter, a little squish, but frontline fighter, and now you have an ability that lets you debuff at will, debuff for one action every round you want is insane. -2 to hit and damage at level 1 is nasty. Giving someone a 10-foot penalty to speeds and making them flat-footed until they take off that armor is so good for the rogue. Oh my god. That's insane.
Why don't you take care of the next one, PJ?
Yeah, last level 1 feat. Unstable repair. You quickly fix your innovation at the cost of its stability. You repair your innovation. Repair has the unstable trait when used this way. You don't have to place the innovation on a flat surface, but you do need to be adjacent, as well as having a repair kit as normal. So this lets you repair for one action, which can be really good because repairing could take a lot longer. However, you botch it, you blow it up. So be careful.
Yeah, it's volatile duct tape.
Yeah, you're jury rigging, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to like take this out of this and put it into here and hope nothing goes wrong.
All right, now we're moving to the level 2 feats with Kickback Strike. That's a 2-action ability. You have to have the prereq of Weapon Innovation. You activate devices on your innovation, causing your weapon to strike with extreme recoil that helps you disengage. Strike a foe, and then strike twice. You must end each strike further from the foe than you began.
See, I just want to say these next 2 feats make me think of all goblin science, because the idea about Kickback Strike is you hit something so hard it sends you backwards. I mean, in theory, you can stride anywhere, but I'm just imagining like a goblin with a shotgun pulling the trigger and then flying back 20 feet.
And honestly, this is actually really good because if your character uses the hit and run tactic, it's a free movement for you.
What I think is interesting is this is kind of like the exact opposite of the thing the fighter and the barbarian get that lets them move twice and then attack. You know, and it has 2 different tactics. So the barbarian and the fighter are getting to the front line and creating the front line. Mm-hmm. This is, oh no, front line, do my job and get out. And I love that tactically.
Yeah, this is basically You're going to attack once. And if somehow you have the rogue archetype, if it becomes a sneak attack, you do your sneak attack. And then you do kickback strike, which gives you a bit of distance.
It's like the song, F this stuff, I'm out.
Exactly.
So now, speaking of goblins, I'm going to do this next one with my goblin voice. It's called, No, no, I created you. That's the actual name of this feat. No, no, I created you. And Adam Generator has been excited for this. I can tell. I'm excited for it. No, no, I created you. Reaction, prerequisites, construct companion, frequency once per minute. Trigger, your construct companion would become confused or controlled. You appeal to your construct companion's bond with its creator to have it break free of a controlling effect. Attempt to counteract the effect that caused or controlled your construct companion using your crafting modifier for the counteract check and half your level rounded up for the counteract level. So what you're now getting is effectively, once per minute as a reaction, like a counter spell, counter charm, counter song, but for a non-magical class, and really only for one thing. But, like, if you put all your innovations in your minion, and then someone controls it, that sucks. So this is awesome that you can get it back. And it's got such a great name.
Yeah.
No, no, I created you.
All right, next up is Searing Restoration. It's a level 2 feat, 1 action, fire, healing, inventor, manipulate, and unstable. They told you there was no way that explosions could heal people.
Oh no.
I as soon as I'm gonna look up.
No.
But they were fools! Fools! They don't understand your brilliance. You create an minor explosion using your intervention that cauterizes wounds and vaporizes medical herbs, restoring 1d4 hit points for each level you have to you or an adjacent living creature. Special. If your innovation is in minion, it can take this action rather than you. Because it's not a living creature, it can't use the ability on itself.
So, hold up. Wait a minute. There's a song I forgot. But for one action, you can heal at level 2, 2d4 hit points to either yourself or anyone in range.
Yeah.
I mean, range is adjacent, but like that's bonkers. This guy. So at level 1, they can completely debuff an enemy with some amazing tactical effects for rogues and other squishies and maybe even fighters to take advantage of. At level 2, they can also become a cleric, a very small range cleric, but a potent and reliable. Notice there's no language that says you cannot do this multiple actions. Oh, well, it's unstable, so eventually you run the risk of blowing up. But still, there's no limitation other than the unstable feature. If you roll well, you're healing like crazy.
And also the fact that if you have a construct, you literally have a heal bot.
Yes, you literally have a heal lamp. And this is great, like, if you have a cleric who's especially a war priest or a harm, a cloister cleric that went harm, now you're taking a lot of the responsibility off their shoulders.
Yeah.
And you're putting it on either you or your stupid robot. That's insane.
Right.
And also, the fluff text is just hilarious.
All right, PJ. Why don't you take Transform Armor?
Okay, one action. Prerequisites, you have to have the armor innovation, makes sense. You're wearing your armor innovation or holding it in both hands in compact form. Think Tony Stark with the suitcase armor. Mm-hmm. You've modified your armor to collapse into a much smaller compact form. In compact form, your armor innovation is easier to carry, with a bulk 1 lower than the bulk listed, to a minimum of light bulk, so less than 1 bulk. You can transform your armor into or out of its compact form to put it on or take it off in an instant. If you're wearing your armor innovation, when you transform it, you remove it instantly, and it collapses into compact form, which is held in both your hands. If you don't have both hands available, it falls to the ground in an adjacent space. If you're holding your armor in a compact form, when you transform it, it unfolds back into its armor onto your body. This is exactly the suitcase suit from Iron Man 2, and I love it. For one action, you get to take your armor on or don it.
I don't know how, but you could also this is just a great visual. I'm seeing a character with a coin he's like Two-Face. He's constantly flipping the coin, and then
Mm-hmm.
combat starts, presses the coin, and it becomes an armor.
Absolutely. Really fast. Adam Generator, sucks to see you have to go, but thank you for catching us while you could. We hope to see you Wednesday night. It should be awesome tomorrow night, or at least funny. Have a good night, man, and we'll see you next time, Adam.
Later. All right, our next one is, oh god,
Transform Construct.
yeah, it's Transform Construct, level 2 feat. It's one, oh god, one action. Inventor, manipulate, and modification. You've modified your construct companion and built it out of light materials, allowing you to collapse it into a carrying case or another compact or innocuous form. In combat, in compact form, your construct is easily carried with a bulk of 2 if it's small, 4 if it's a medium, or 8 if it's a large. The compact form has wheels, allowing you to easily drag it behind you at half speed, rather than the usual slower speed for dragging. Either your construct or you, if adjacent to it, can transform your construct. You basically have you don't have a transformer. You have a GoBot.
Yeah, you
Or
do.
yeah, or it's basically Megatron with its alternate form being a gun.
Yeah, when he transforms into a gun, I just love the idea that when you compact it, it has wheels, so you're just pulling it
Yeah.
like it's in a Red Rider
Yeah.
wagon.
Or,
Oh, that's
or
adorable.
or it's either Soundwave or a blaster. It turns into like a tape recorder or a boombox.
I could definitely see that. It's like because like Soundwave is massive,
Yeah.
and then he turns into like, granted, a ghetto blaster, but still much smaller than how big Soundwave is.
Yeah.
Um, all right,
At level
fourth
2, man. At level 2.
Dude, what I love about this is like, so far the inventor is giving us exciting, creative choices, with some exception, not being too broken. Like
Yeah.
out the gate at level 1, if you focus on the weapon, you're going to be doing a lot of damage. And again, whenever you add the bonus d6, but it's not going to be anything that's higher than the rogue or the barbarian or
Yeah. It's
champion
not
smite.
broken. It's not broken.
It's not broken. It's a lot, but it's not broken.
Yeah.
Fourth level, Advanced Construct Companion. You get that pretty fast. You've upgraded your Construct Companion. Your Construct Companion becomes an Advanced Construct Companion, which we're going to get to later. During an encounter, even if you don't use the command, a minion action, your Construct Companion can still use one action on your turn that round to move or attack. It's learning. It's becoming self-aware.
I don't think so, Hal.
I can't do that, Hal.
I can't. Yeah.
Why not?
Oh, no, wait, it's not Hal. It's called Hal. I can't do that, Dave.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I can't do that, Dave, because Dave's the guy.
Yeah.
Hal's the robot. Because Hal, if I remember correctly, is just IBM, but one letter off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is Diving Armor. Prereq is Armor Innovation, level 4 feat. You've modified your armor with features like fins, rotors, and other gadgets to make it easy for you to move through the water, plus mechanical gills that can help you extract breathable air from the water. While wearing your armor innovation, you can breathe underwater and gain a swim speed equal to your land speed. This is basically that old cartoon Centurion.
Yes. Oh, you read my mind. Yes, it is.
Yeah. All right, why don't you take the next one?
All right. Dual form weapon. Weapon innovation. You've built your innovation with replaceable interlocking pieces, allowing you to transform it into another type of weapon entirely. When you select this feat, choose a level 0 simple or martial weapon, a common weapon or another to which you have access to. This weapon becomes your innovation's second configuration. Select a new set of weapon modifications for this new configuration. You can spend 2 interact actions to switch your weapon innovation between the two. These actions don't need to be taken consecutively, but if you've provided the first and not the second, it's non-functional. Your weapon's bulk is always the greater bulk of the 2 configurations, regardless of which configuration it is. If one weapon is smaller than the other, you'll still need to keep any weapon parts on hand. What I like about this is that if you take the weapon configuration at level 1 that creates a simple weapon with 1 die class higher, you can now create the secondary form as a martial weapon that would inevitably have a higher die value. So if you have, like, it's a mace, it's now a great axe. And the great axe itself can have different, a whole different sheet of innovations that you can add to it. 2 for the price of 1. That's awesome.
I want to say this is an ability that's very, very anime. This is like transforming weapons. So anime tropes.
It's a Ruby. How everyone has like whatever weapon, but it's also a gun.
Yeah. All right. The next one is now we're going to Fallout.
Mm-hmm.
Megaton Strike. Level 4 feat, 2 actions, Inventor and Unstable. You activate gears, explosives, and other hidden gadgets in your intervention to make a powerful attack. If you're wearing your intervention, you make a melee unarmed strike or a melee strike with 1 weapon you choose during daily preparations. If you have a minion intervention, it makes a strike, and if you have a weapon innovation, you make a strike with your innovation. If the strike hits, it deals double the usual number of weapon damage strike, 2 for a weapon without a striking rune, 4 for a striking weapon, 6 for a greater striking weapon, and 8 for a major striking weapon. Your special, if your innovation is a minion, it can take this action rather than you.
Remember how we said this thing was balanced?
Nope. Yeah, not anymore.
Nope. A level 4 feat. Now, granted, this requires investment. You take it at level 4. You don't get to feel that full effect until level who knows. Mm-hmm. But the fact that you can do 8 times weapon damage before a crit even enters the scene, and you're still having the option of putting a D6 on the back end of that sucker with your intelligence modifier. What?
Yeah. Oh, Reap Psyche. Yep, it's Big O. Big O, let's go.
It's you guys remember Marvel vs. Capcom 2? And you could play as Jin, and Jin had that move called the Bloatia Punch, and he'd summon his robot off stage to punch. That's that. That is, I'm going to summon a punch that you are going to friggin' hate. Holy balls.
Yeah. Whew. All right, let's move on to level 6 now.
I take anything back I've ever said about, like, levels and balancing. If 4th level, I can do something that later would give me 8 times dice damage. Madness and chaos. Yeah. All right. I mean, I love it, but dear God. So, 6th level, Clockwork Celerity. It's a free action. Prerequisites, armor, construct, or weapon innovation. Trigger, your turn begins. Unstable clockwork devices in your innovation allow you to push your innovation to act more quickly. You're quickened for this turn. How you can use the extra action depends on your innovation. Armor allows you to step, stride, or use another movement. Free movement, always good. Construct, you can use the extra action to command your minion, so it's an extra command that you could give. Why? Why would you do that? A weapon gives you an extra attack. At level 6, if you choose the weapon innovation for free action, you get 1 more attack. Sure, the multiple attack penalty would probably still apply because I don't see language saying it doesn't. But still, that's a bonus action to attack. Dear God.
Yeah. Whew. All right, moving on. Megavolt. Great. It's a great Duckwing Duck villain.
He is.
Feat level 6 is a 2 action ability. Electricity, Inventor, Manipulate, and Unstable. You cause your innovation to shoot out a bolt of electricity, damaging creatures in a line. Creatures in a 60-foot line from you take 3d12 electricity damage with a basic reflex save against your class DC. The electricity damage increases by 1d12 at 8th level, and every 2 levels thereafter, you can choose to increase the line to 90 feet long if you have the Breakthrough Innovation class feature, and to 90 or 120 feet long if you have the Revolutionary Innovation class feature. Special, if your innovation is a minion, it can use this action rather than you.
So, putting this out there, again, I'm looking at the end game, level 20. This bad boy can do 13 D12. Hold on. It can do 10. Yeah. No, 9, 10. It can do 10 D12 electric damage with a reflex save based on your class DC. Up to 120 feet. Do you want to do 120 damage to a schmuck at the end of the football field? Because you can. Because you can.
Yeah.
Dear
Ooh.
God.
Imagine taking Megavolt and Megaton.
Oh,
Strike.
God. Although I don't think they stack.
No, but you have the option to do both.
Oh, my God. I love it.
Just call your character Mega.
And the best part is that with those two options, you now have a close-range decimator and a far-range decimator.
PJ, I just realized something. You could be Dr. Light, and if you have a companion, you have your own Mega Man.
Oh, no. No. You make this Mega Man, and your companion is Rush.
Yes.
And he's almost just as useful. Ruh. You want to jump higher? Boing. Bye.
Yep.
All right.
Why don't you take the next one?
Visual fidelity. You found out a way to use a hodgepodge combination of devices to enhance your visual abilities in every situation. You gain dark and low light vision, and you can see invisible creatures and objects as translucent shapes, like predator stuff, though these shapes appear distinct enough to be concealed to you. Okay, that's weird. Concealed, it gives the, okay. If an effect would give you the blinded condition, the effect must attempt a counteract check against you. On a failed counteract check, you aren't blinded, as your various devices are able to compensate. So it's nice. You get, like, a lot of really good vision things. The one thing I feel kind of sucks is they're trying to balance basically seeing invisible creatures, but the thing is, even if you quote unquote see them, they're still concealed. So they're not. What's the condition? You're not unaware. You just can't locate them. I forgot what that's called. Unnoticed. You're not unaware. Yeah. They're just. I think it's unnoticed. I can't remember the effect, but it's nice.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad.
I would honestly prefer this be a higher level feat and just give me like imprecise and see invisibility. Mm-hmm. Kind of thing.
Yeah. All right. Ooh. Okay.
Gigaton
I read
strike?
ahead a little bit.
Yeah.
You know that Megaton strike you got at level 4?
I just saw Gigaton strike and I'm scared / excited.
Yeah. Okay. We're now in the 8th levels. Feats. This is basically an upgrade to that Megaton strike that you. Oh man, if you didn't take it at level 4, why? Oh god. When you make a Megaton strike, you can knock your foe back, sending them reeling away from the explosive force of your blow. On a successful Megaton strike, your target must attempt a Fortitude save against your class DC. Critical success, the target is unaffected. Success, the target is pushed back 5 feet. Failure, the target is pushed back 10 feet. And a critical failure, the target is pushed back 20 feet. If your innovation is a minion, this benefit applies on its Megaton strike. Okay, it's not super bad, but the fact that, oh god, especially if you're fighting on a ledge.
Oh, the 20-foot non-negotiable knockback, depending on how bad you fail, is amazing. There's a monk feat, and I want to say it's related to the 1-inch punch feat, where after you 1-inch punch them, depending on how many actions you took, and the person's subsequent save, you can knock them back up to 30 feet.
Yeah.
You hit them so hard for that little wah, just go woo.
Yeah.
And now we got this for the inventors. All right.
I will say this: Gigaton Strike is not as bad as you would think, considering what Megaton Strike is, but it is a really nice upgrade if you have Megaton Strike.
Yeah, it's a great way to take something that's already crazy powerful and now make it insanely tactile. Tactile? Yeah. Tactical.
Tactical, yeah. All right, why don't you take the next one?
Incredible Construct Companion, level 8. Your Construct Companion becomes an Incredible Construct Companion. We'll get to that later. Why don't you get Overdrive Ally?
All right. Overdrive ally, 1 action ability, 8th level feat. You have to have overdrive first. It's inventor, manipulate, and you're required to. Its requirements are you're currently under the effects of overdrive. You quickly fling some of your powered up gadgets to an ally, sharing your benefits briefly with them. Choose an ally within 30 feet. Until the end of your next turn, that ally gains the same amount of additional damage to their strikes as you currently gain from overdrive.
So you're okay. This is really cool. So let's
Yeah.
say you don't want to get Megaton Strike because you want to focus on being this buff unit. You know, you're giving in, you're debuffing the enemy with like destroying their weapon and armor. You're healing as much as you can before the unstable blows up in your face. Now you're giving any ally within 30 feet plus 4, 5, 6
Yeah.
damage. So you have this really fascinating Swiss Army class that can do everything and do so effectively well, especially without magic. I'm really blown away by this.
It gives you a nice buff.
Yeah. Paizo, do not nerf, especially that Megaton Strike. Is that Megaton Strike disgusting? Yes. But don't nerf it. I love it. 10th level. Electrifying armor, 1 action. Armor innovation prereq. You're wearing your armor. I hope you would. You create an unstable chain reaction, causing countless sparks to dance across your armor. For 1 minute, anyone that touches you or hits you with a melee attack or non-reach melee weapon takes 1d12 electric damage. When you get Revolutionary Innovation class, this is now 2d12. 2d12 free damage. You just have to activate it for 1 minute. That's really cool.
Yeah. Not bad. Next one is Manifold Modifications, level 10 feet. You have, its prereq is Initial Modification. You modify your intervention using several clever workarounds and unique adjustments, allowing you to include other initial modifications. Your innovation gains an additional initial modification from the list of innovations for its type. Actually, this is, oh wow, this is actually really good.
Yeah, I like this because this basically lets you dual modifications one
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
This is your initial, but honestly, your initial, there's a lot of really useful ones.
Especially considering most later lists that we went over, and they're long, most of them
Yeah.
just allow you to either improve upon the last one you got, or it allows you to get one that you may have missed in a different way. So this is really cool because this lets you, especially for weapons and armor, this lets you really stack up some interesting options.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you take the next one? Tinker's Meddling.
Tinkerer's Meddling. 1 action. You have to have the offensive boost ability, and once per 10 minutes. You don't just tinker with your own innovation, you meddle with your allies' weapons as well. Choose an ally in your reach and one of their weapons. Attempt a crafting check against a high DC for your level. And it's up to the GMs, you're going to have to ask them for it. Success. For 1 minute, the chosen ally strikes with a chosen weapon, gains the same offensive boost your innovation has. Critical failure, your ally takes damage of the type of amount your offensive boost normally deals with as a successful strike. So Tinkerer's Meddling is weird because it's basically a focus spell, since it can be done once about every 10 minutes, that acts as overdrive ally, but it's only 1 person.
I want to say, basically, a lot of the inventor stuff is kind of centered around you or your minion, but with abilities and feats like this, you become an interesting buff character.
Yeah, and it's also cool because if you skipped overdrive ally because you want to get Gigaton Strike or, increase your companion, then you still get a way to do that, but without having to be in overdrive. So now you're getting less risk. It's less people, but it still is a very strong secondary way to buff your teammates.
All right, let's move on to 12th level. Level 12 feat is boost moderation. Prereq offensive boost. You aren't satisfied with keeping to just one kind of boost from your constant tinkering. You choose 2 additional offensive boosts. You can use an interact action to change the offensive boost currently affecting your weapon. choosing between the one you chose for the class feature and the two you chose for this modification. If your weapon has the modular trait, then you can use an interact action to change the physical damage type. You can swap the offensive boost as well.
That's really good. I'm trying to go back and find offensive boost because like I've gone over so much, my brain is having
Yeah, no,
it's hitting a wall.
yeah, it's a little bit like what is it? Being able to take another initial intervention bonus thing.
Yeah, offensive boost basically makes it so that you deal one extra d6
Yeah,
damage depending on type, and it looks like it hits the big three elements. I'm sorry, the big four elements in the three types of melee damage. So, so this bad boy allows you. Oh, it allows you to choose more variety
yeah,
for that. I don't think it adds more d6s though. It just allows you to swap out. So basically, it's like okay, right now this weapon has plus 1d6 bludgeoning damage, but I'm going to click the switch and now it's 1d6 fire. I'm going to click the switch and it's 1d6 shocking. So that's really cool, especially when you're sitting there fighting creatures with, vulnerabilities to fire and immunities to cold. You get to have that flexibility on the
yeah.
fly.
All right. Next one is Gigavolt, and it's a level 12 feat. Prereq is Megavolt, so oof. When you unleash electricity from your invention, you can cause it to bounce off obstacles, creating a field of electric death. When you use Megavolt, if your line of electricity hits a solid barrier, such as a wall, it bounces off at an angle of your choice and continues until it reaches the full length of the line. Even if a creature in the area even if a creature is in the area of multiple bounces, it takes damage only once. You're basically now Electro.
Yeah, the bouncing is really cool. I'm looking at it and I'm trying to figure out if mechanically it lets you hit people off the line or if it just makes it so that people who have cover no longer have cover.
Yeah.
Um,
Maynard, yeah, trick shot.
yeah,
It's trick shot.
trick shot. Shared overdrive. Oh, prerequisite overdrive ally. The buff within 30 feet that gives them +5 to everything, all their damage. You've experimented enough on your teammates to allow you to transform a substantial amount of powered-up gadgets to them, allowing one of your allies to benefit from the full effects of your overdrive. The first time you use overdrive ally during an overdrive, the effect lasts for the remainder of the duration of your overdrive instead of just until the end of the target's next turn. Any further use of overdrive ally during the same overdrive have their normal duration. I guess it means have like half it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, basically, you now become a better team buffer as you're giving the +4, 5, 6 damage to the whole party for the remainder that you can instead of for like one round buff. Still, really, really good class that's got so much to offer.
It offers offers some really interesting builds.
Really, really does.
Yeah. Now we're moving on to the 14th level feats. Oof. Eternal Meddler. Prereq is Tinkerer's Meddling, and frequency is once per day. Excuse me. You meddle with your allies' equipment so often, the modifications you implemented grant them benefits throughout the day. During your daily prep, you can choose one ally and one of their weapons. Attempt the crafting check against a very high DC for your level. On a success, your ally strike with the chosen weapon gains the same offensive boost you chose for your intervention. This lasts until your next daily prep. On a critical failure, your ally takes damage of the type and amount that your offensive boost normally deals on a successful strike. So basically, you get a 24-hour boost for one of your allies' weapons.
So once per day for the whole day, you're giving this person a bonus 1d6 damage of a specific type. So let's just say you're looking at the rogue and like, hey, rogue, let me see that item. Tick, 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 tick. Here you go. Here's an extra 1d6 piercing damage. So now when you sneak attack, it's just going to be 1d6 worse. Or better, technically. But
Oh, dude, imagine giving this to the investigator and they have the, okay, we'll see if it hits. If it doesn't hit, I'll do something else. Devise stratagem.
Or even better, imagine giving it to the barbarian, because they suffer for damage.
Yeah.
Oh, what's that? You're using a 1d12 with a plus bunch load of damage? Here's an extra
All right.
1d6. Have fun with that.
Yeah. All right. Why don't you take Paragon Companion?
All right, do you mind if I do that in the unstable redundancies?
Sure.
Paragon Companion. Your companion's a paragon. We'll get to that later. Unstable redundancies. Free action. Trigger. You would attempt a flat check to determine whether your innovation is destroyed due to an unstable action, but you haven't rolled yet. You've built in triple redundancies into your innovation and added all sorts of buffers to protect it from being harmed by your unstable experiments, at least through the first activation. You automatically succeed at the triggering flat check. You can't rely on your unstable redundancies again until you've readjusted your innovation to be safe for unstable actions again. So, remember we said the heal thing is unstable?
Yeah.
This means the first time you use it, not a problem. The second time you use it, it's starting to get dicey. But with this 14 feet, level 14 feet, the first time you'd have to make a check against an unstable reaction, you automatically succeed. That can be for using the heal effect, that can be used for buffing your companion or doing something crazy buff for your own weapon.
It's a freebie.
It's a free off, and that's always good.
All right, now we're in the 16th level, finally. Soaring Armor. Prereq is armor innovation. Whether through releasing jets of flame, propeller blades, magnetic fields, or some combination of the above, you've managed to free your innovation from the bonds of gravity. While using your innovation, you gain the fly speed equal to your land speed. So yeah, now you have that flying Iron Man armor.
I was just going to say, hey, Lady Alteriel, we found Iron Man. It's at level 16. And that's great. I also love that they said it's equal to your land speed. Just makes it easier for everyone. And time for my goblin voice again, because the other option at level 16 is you failed to account for this. And that's exactly how it says. You failed to account for ... this. Reaction. Trigger. A creature you can perceive targets you with an attack against your AC. When your foes try to attack you, you always seem to have some outlandish gadget you can pull out the last second to protect you. Describe a device you attempt to use to protect yourself from the foe's attack. For instance, when attacked by a shocker lizard's shock strike, you might pull out a specially grounded lightning rod from that time you tried to power an invention by harnessing a thunderstorm. Using an invention to defend in this way means that the attack roll for the triggering attack targets your crafting DC instead of your AC. Since you use your crafting DC instead of your AC, any penalties to your AC don't apply. But this feat doesn't remove any conditions or other effects causing such penalties. For instance, if you're flat-footed and use an invention to defend against a sneak attack, the -2 penalty to AC from being flat-footed wouldn't apply to your crafting DC. However, you're still flat-footed. So if the attack hits, you still take the extra damage. This is weird. I love this very weird ability. Granted, the cool thing is, it's anytime someone attacks you with your reaction. So you can do this multiple rounds, which is really nice. Because it doesn't say like once a day. It just says anytime someone would try to attack you, you use your one reaction. Boom, there you go. So it's really kind of cool.
Yeah. It reminds me of, honestly, it's a Inventor with a lot of like little minor like things they have kind of strapped to themselves and like, oh, you're gonna attack me? Pocket sand.
Shasha.
Shasha.
It's also good because I believe it helps against fear. One of the things I always mess up is that fear doesn't necessarily make someone run away from a target. It can if you want to do that as a GM, but mostly it gives a penalty to armor and saves and checks. So if you're afraid and someone's attacking you, you can be like, no! And then
no, honestly, you failed to account for this. I'm sorry, but I'm definitely going to say this is just pocket sand. This is Pathfinder pocket sand right here.
I can see that, but what's cool about it is that they roll against your crafting DC, and it's hit or miss basically at this point. That's a really good level 16 feat. Honestly, if I didn't give a crap about flying, oh boy, that's so good though. Oh man. Because that is one reaction every round. My AC is now my stupid high crafting DC, which at 16 I believe you're at least a master in. So that means, give me a second, this is going to get stupid. Let's see, level 16 plus 6, 22. So that means you have like a 32 DC. It means your AC is 32 on that triggering hit at level 16.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, I'm sure like a champion or fighter or whatever is the same, but still, dear God, there's no way you can, at least this class, could equal that with normal armor. Maybe
honestly, this is your ace in the hole. You always have an ace in the hole.
Yeah, but oh my God, but the fact that you could use it once around every round. Dear God. Yeah. Okay, so level 18 feats. We're making our way downtown. Lights on, I don't know the rest. But we're getting there. We're almost done.
All right. It's devastating weaponry. Feat level 18. It's a 3-action ability, and you have to have the prereq of weapon innovation. You release a volley of projectiles from your weapon or power it to fly about and strike multiple creatures. Make a strike with your weapon innovation against each creature within 30 feet of you. Don't increase your multiple attack penalty until after making all the attacks. If your innovation is a melee weapon and any of the attacks are outside your reach, you release the weapon before the strikes and it returns to your grasp after all of them. If your hands are full when the weapon returns, it falls to the ground in your space. Yeah, no, this is that weapon from, was it the Fifth Element, where it's the homing, ammo. It will go over allies or whatever and just like,
yeah, I think it's interesting because it's all 3 actions and it does whatever your weapon's base damage is. It looks like, well, what one weapon strike would be to everyone in 30 feet. It's a really cool ability. But its usefulness really depends on how much damage you're swinging at 18, which is a lot. But man, I want to break this so badly and allow you to use Megaton Strike with this. But I know I would regret it as a GM since at level 18 you probably have 3 a major striking room.
You know what? Read Engine of Destruction. Let's find out what that does. That does not sound good.
No, I love it. Engine of Destruction. 3 actions, construct innovations. Now your little buddy is getting this one. Your construct unleashes a broad swath of devastation by separating its limbs, deploying hidden armaments, or something similar. You command your innovation, except that instead of its normal actions, it strides once, then makes a strike against each creature within 30 feet of it. The multiple attack penalty does not increase until afterwards. So Engine of Destruction is exactly Devastating Weapon, but for your companion construct.
Yeah.
And it gets to move as well. That's really good because you can't move.
Yeah, this reminds me of that one character. It's now considered Star Wars Legends, but it's C3PX, which is a assassin droid in the likeness of C3PO, who has all these weapons hidden on it.
See, and I'm just imagining C3PO going, oh my, and then every plate opens up to reveal, just a metric ton of, I don't know, Scud missiles, and he just starts shooting from every part of his body.
Yeah, it's that character, or it's literally, it's a Gundam that's just going for broke and just, unloading all its weapons.
Oh, God, Heavy Arms.
Yeah.
From Gundam Wing. Yeah. That dude was cool, but man, he was lame when he ran out of bullets and missiles. It's like, oh, he's got a switchblade. That's cute.
All right, why don't you take the next one?
All right. Multifarious Meddler. Prerequisites, the Eternal Meddler skill from before. While others wonder how you can possibly find the time to make so many modifications, you can't help but meddle with your allies' equipment. I just love the fluff of that. After all, how else are they going to learn? During your daily preparations, you can choose up to 6 allies and 6 of their weapons for Eternal Meddler instead of just one. You no longer need to attempt a crafting check. You automatically apply the boost to all of them. So, you want to be the buff dude, the guy who buffs everyone? At level 18, you, for free, can buff everyone's weapon 1d6 with a bonus weapon type. Remember when I said that this class specialized in prepping for the big boss fight? That is another major thing. Let's say you fight a dragon, this crazy dragon, and you know it's weak against lightning damage or whatever. Now everyone is dealing an extra 1d6 lightning damage.
Like, and it's for the entire day, and it doesn't wear off.
Doesn't. And then you don't even have to make a check. That's what's also crazy about this. You don't have to make a check. You just automatically succeed boosting everyone's weapon by 1d6 type.
Yeah, it's a perma buff. It's a perma buff. As long as you're with your party, you're giving them a perma buff.
And you can just do this once a day or until you change the type. Like, this is insane.
And honestly, also, if your ally's weapons is maxed out on runes, this will stack on.
Yeah. So if you have shocking damage already from a lesser, greater, or major striking rune, and you're fighting something that's weak to electricity, you can just give them another d6 of shocking damage.
Imagine if your ally already has a Vorpal, Keen, Reach, whatever nonsense weapon, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to slap on this on top of all that.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think the offensive boost allows for alignment type damage, but it is the main 4 elements and the 3 physical types, so you cannot make anyone do good damage, but still, you're still giving them more damage.
All right, let's move on to negate damage, level 18 feat. It's a reaction, prereq of armor innovation, and trigger is you would take damage. Pretty basic. Your innovation activates various devices you prepared ahead of time, forming a unstable chain reaction to all but negate incoming damage. Reduce the damage you would take by 50.
And here's the thing, my theys, my gays, my boys and girls. It's a reaction with no limitation, which means anytime you get hit once a round, you can reduce that by 50. You can do that every round. And that by the way, Vents and gents, is with your damage resistance you already have for your armor.
Okay, we remember, PJ, remember when we were talking about, God, with all this cool stuff, late game, the Inventor probably won't be as great.
Oh, God.
How wrong we were. How wrong we were in our hubris.
Remember at level 1, we're like, this class is balanced, and we were proven wrong at level 4? At level 4, we're like, no, this thing is a beautiful, overpowered son of a bitch, and I love it. Reef Psyche made a very, very interesting point, and I kind of love it. What if you played the entire crew of the West Coast Choppers cast just as all this class?
Yeah.
I kind of wanted. I mean, I'm not going to make this campaign because I don't want to think about it.
Do it. No, make this into a one-shot. Make this at least into a one-shot. We're all inventors.
So you're all inventors, and you can choose, I don't know, a free archetype is whatever you want. But I just love the idea that, like, you all specialize. You all specialize in something different.
The next hype train reward. I want to have an all-inventor one-shot.
I mean, I still have to finish Raw's Rave Party, which by the way, I'm not complaining. I love that I get to do this for you guys. But Raw's Rave Party, Merry Wives of Woodward, what else?
This will be the third. This will be the third.
Probably. West Coast Choppers. Oh my God, you're all orcs, and your choppers are your swords. Total 40K reference, but they can't sue me if I don't say 40K. All right, so negate damage. If you want to be the tank, you're a good tank. If you want to be the buffer, the other ability makes you an insane buff unit.
Yeah. All right.
Oh my God.
It's time for the capstone, PJ. Okay. Before we read the capstones, how bad do you think this is gonna be?
You know, I don't know because at level 18 it's already. I mean, level 4 it blew my mind, and it continues to blow my mind. I think this is going to. you know what? I'm gonna dare the audacity of hope and say this is going to make me crap my pants. Let's see if it does.
All right, let's see. Go with the first. You're up with the first one.
All right. Full automaton or full automation. Yeah, full automation, that's correct. Armor, construct, or weapon innovation is the prereqs. You become so entwined with your innovation that you can use them without a second thought. You're permanently quickened. Permanently quickened. How you can use that depends on your innovation. There was another one earlier where you basically got a free action. This is this on steroids already. Armor. You can make a stride step or use a form of movement provided by previous ones, such as fly or swim, if you chose those feats. For the armor responds to the most subtle stimulus as long as you wear it. This is that moment in Gundam Wing when the program starts hardwiring directly into their skull. Construct. You can use an extra action to command your innovation, as your ability to command your construct becomes instinctive. So you could basically give them, I think, now 2 or 3 commands. Weapon. You can use an extra action to strike with your weapon as the weapon speeds toward its target effortlessly as long as you hold it.
Oh.
Remember before when you got one free attack action at the beginning of the round?
Yep.
Now you as a fighter are permanently quickened to attack.
Does it stack? I don't think it stacks. Does it stack? What's that? Do you get that one attack and then later on you get this at the end? So you get 4 actions? No, what? 5 actions?
I don't know. If you did, you'd only get it in your first round. Still, that's
5
bananas.
actions in your opening round?
Well, to be fair, it's 5 attacks.
Yeah.
You'd get the
attacks.
normal 3 actions plus 1 that you can use to strike and potentially a free action to strike again.
Bruh.
Dude. And Megaton, remember, Megaton Strike takes like what, 2 actions?
Yeah.
You could in theory do Megaton Strike twice. Move once, Megaton Strike twice. Call it a day.
Oh.
Now it says you can only strike, right? You have to use this to strike.
Well, Megaton Strike is a strike.
I was gonna say, if it counts as a strike, yeah, you could do 2 Megaton Strikes. Oh my god.
It's like
God.
double
God,
barrel.
Why? You're moving, and then you're doing. I'm not even including the overdrive boost or the offensive boost. I'm not even including the bonus, and you're potentially throwing down 16 dice a round.
Oh god. Okay, you better honestly at that point, if you're one of those people who just collects an obscene amount of dice. This is the feat for you.
And here's the thing. That's not including the 1d6 from the weapon boost if you want it. That's not including the bonus from your strength or your intelligence modifier if you're boosted.
God.
You're still throwing down 16 dice.
Yeah,
even if it's a dagger, 16 d4 is a lot of d4.
This is the clickly clack math rock jamboree.
This is the everyone go take a 5. I got to do math. I got to count.
Oh, that's literally you throwing down a bag full of caltrops.
Yeah, if you like playing Shadowrun and you have all like those massive collections of 16 d6 of 20 d6s, just dump that sucker on the field.
All right, let's check out the other capstone. Ubiquitous Overdrive, level 20 feet. You have to have the prereq of Shared Overdrive. You keep gadgets on every ally, ready to power them up all at once. During your daily preparations, select up to 6 willing allies. Whenever you use Overdrive, you grant the benefits to any of these allies you choose who are within 30 feet of you.
Okay, cool. So it's kind of like Overdrive Ally.
Yeah.
I think the big thing that we forgot about Overdrive Ally, it's not every ally within 30 feet. It's only one ally within 30 feet. So this is the ultimate variation of that where now because here's the thing, you've already tinkered their weapon to doing a bonus 1d6 of a weapon type of your choice. Now you're buffing the entire party to do, I'm going to be generous at this point and say plus 6 damage. And if, God help you, you have a barbarian. Think about that. A level 20 barbarian raging with a bonus 6 damage on the back end. That is disgusting.
Yeah, this is like the ultimate buff.
So now the question is, what is really better? Is it the ultimate self awareness, the ultimate self reliance, or the ultimate buff to the party?
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. All right. Which of these two capstone feats would you prefer?
Oh, it's really tough. I'll say this: if I decide to go with the construct innovation, I would take ubiquitous overdrive. Ubiquitous overdrive.
Mhm.
The construct's cool, but reading it, and again, this is all coming from the fact that we're going to cover the construct in depth for part 3.
Next
So
week.
right now I'm working with
Yeah.
very little information, but right now the construct feels like it's a cute addition,
Mhm.
but I don't feel like it has the raw power. Well, to be fair, it can also do Megaton Strike itself. So at that
Yeah.
point, really,
You're basically the kid from the Iron Giant,
yeah. Ooh, okay.
or Roger
this is
Moore
tough.
from Big O.
I think it's tough because all the buffing potential that this class has up to level 20 is very, very good. And I could take this and make a buffing character that can also heal a crap ton of HP
Yeah.
while also debuffing the enemy a very good way. But at the same time, the amount of damage that myself or my construct can pump out with full automation is so gnarly.
Yeah.
Chat, I gotta put this to you. All the people in the chat, what would you rather have? Would you rather be a walking, talking buff unit that makes sure everyone in your party is dealing 1d6 plus 6 damage for a whole day and healing them at least 20d4 HP around? Or would you rather be the danger? Would you rather be the Gundam? It's a,
Yeah,
it's a
I want to
hard
say
choice.
with these two feats, it depends on your build. If you're going with the buffer, you're definitely gonna take the ubiquitous overdrive. But if you decide to take any other build from the inventor, you're gonna take full automation.
Yeah, Reap Psyche is saying Megaton, and my dude, I don't blame you. Yeah, I main DPS as secondary supports. I think I kind of feel that. And here's the crazy thing, Reap Psyche, like Megaton's level 4 feat, the healing feat's only level 2.
Yeah.
You could very easily main DPS and still heal 20 D4
Yeah.
around.
And
I mean,
honestly, the fact that if you go with armor, you're a tank already. So you're not
God.
you're frontline. You don't have to worry about too much your frontline. Yeah.
I gotta double check if Megaton can be used in armor. I know it can be a weapon and a construct. Let me see. Megaton
I believe
Strike.
so. I actually believe so.
Yes, it has no limitations. It can be done by basically all innovations. So yeah, you could also be a frontline tank with your crazy resistance suit of armor that negates 50 damage around and still
PJ.
just be dumping 16 d6 on people.
PJ, I just thought of something. If you're an inventor with the archetype of what's it called? Bastion or something like that, the full defense.
Yeah.
And then you're like up front, you're specializing in defense, and then you just unleash Megaton strikes.
Oh God, I'm still giddy about the idea of making an Inventor Barbarian. I need to double check because I don't think the archetype rage is as potent as what a rage normally is, and that's fair. But that's still what 3 bonus damage on top of the 6, on top of the 8, on top of the 8 times your weapon dice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, this class is at first we thought, oh, it's like you're I don't know, you're Dexter from Dexter's Laboratory, you're you're Doc Brown from Back to the Future, all these fun kooky inventors, and it turns out, oh god, you can either become Mega Man or a freaking Gundam pilot.
I almost, you know how we said, like, oh, I don't know if Iron Man works for this. Well, here's the thing. So you don't get the Iron Man suit to the full extent that he does, but you're shooting Jericho missiles all over the place. You
Yeah,
know, you're getting that super unibeam. Oh my god.
yeah. No, this
Reaps,
is. Oh God, this is. This. I
Reaps
like
like
this.
he's
I like
Reaps
this.
like he said it best. The best support is murdering everything before they
Yeah.
can hurt anyone.
You know what?
Oh,
I'm calling it now. I like this class better than the gunslinger. Definitely.
I was just thinking that, and I agree 1,000%. The
I mean,
gunslinger has some fun options,
yeah.
but
And
this is
being a
just
cowboy is fun. Being a cowboy, being that, Clint Eastwood type character is always fun. But
yeah.
if you want the more bang for your buck, you're going with the inventor.
I think the thing is what the inventor does well, it does really well, and you have opportunities to make them do a lot of things very well. You know, if you want to specialize in buffing, you can definitely go down that route 1,000% and be a very good, very reliable buffing character. If you just want to do a crap ton of damage, you're stacking the deck at level 4.
Yeah.
The gunslinger is fun. It has a lot of options, but quite honestly, I feel like if you want to do a lot of damage as a gunslinger, the most damaging build is the sniper, and that's kind of limited.
Hmm.
Any build of the inventor can have Megaton Strike and be disgusting with it.
Street said Gunslinger is super complicated and can act insanely, but big robot. This is how I'm viewing it right now. Between the two, the the Gunslinger is the sizzle on a steak, but the Inventor is the steak itself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, I think the thing about the gunslinger is, yeah, you have that kind of. It's like being a fighter.
Yeah,
You have a lot of options. You can do a lot of damage, but your big thing is being reliable. This guy is almost a melee caster.
yeah,
It's like, yeah, I throw a
yeah,
lot of damage like a level 20 fireball, but I do it with my hands,
yeah.
and I'm gonna do
Honestly,
it a lot.
yeah. Honestly, yeah. You, yeah. You start off as kind of a rogue-like character, but then when you specialize into like an armor innovation, you become frontline. You're,
Yeah,
yeah,
and the crazy thing too is like, if you decide to take the armorer, and your AC is just not up to par, you can then fall back on either just taking 50 less damage, or you can fall back on having your crafting DC be your AC for you.
yeah. And honestly, at that point, you can honestly just take certain archetypes, and that will actually fill in the gap of turning your inventor into this full-on tank.
I
I believe.
here's the way I feel about Inventor, and this is me talking to Paizo. Paizo, this Inventor is the most busted thing I have ever seen, and I do not want you to change a single
Yeah,
thing about it. It is it is incredible. It is
yeah.
insanely OP.
I
These are not nerf.
also want to point this out. We have not fully gone into the construct companions even yet with the was it the
Yep.
advanced and incredible or whatever they're called, the
Yeah,
paragon. Oh,
the advanced, the Paragon, all that goodness. This class is so dense and so rewarding that we had to make it a two-parter for just this one go through. We're gonna have to get to the constructs for next week for part 3
yeah.
of the investigator alone.
Inventor,
So
inventor alone.
thank you. Did I say investigator?
Yeah.
Investigator, inventor, and inquisitor. Do you see my problem?
The ins.
The ins, they're so similar.
Yeah. Mm.
Okay, so inventor, chat. My God, inventor, I'm still in awe of this thing.
And also, those of you who are watching on YouTube, leave a comment down in the comment section about which of these playtests do you prefer. Are you more the gunslinger type, or are you more of the inventor type? I'm just gonna say it right off the bat. I'm down with the Inventor actually more, which is surprising because I love the idea of playing a gunslinger.
Absolutely. I love the fun of a gunslinger. But if you just want to have your mind blown with how much utility you have to do damage, to survive, to heal, and to buff, and even at level 1 to debuff potentially. I don't believe that debuff stacks, but just to have it is really good. Take the Inventor. You're literally spectacular at anything you decide to do.
Yeah, I mean, oh god, it's there's so many. Like honestly, I thought you're just gonna be shoot in flavor wise with a certain story, a certain type of character if you pick the Inventor, but no, you can play. There are ways to play so many different types of Inventors, really.
And here's the best part: once you get to the end game, you can change your entire build on the fly.
Yeah.
You can change the feats you took in a day. You can change the innovations you went with in one downtime action. So you as a class are completely unlimited. Let's say you didn't take Megaton Strike. I don't know why you wouldn't, but let's just say you didn't, and you want it bad. As long as you have the prerequisites, which there are none, you can just take it again in a day.
Yeah. Oh god.
It's insane. Yeah. This is insane. You could, oh my god, if you skipped a Gigaton Strike and realized I need to take that, you can respec into that so long as you have Megaton Strike. Okay. This has been awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Paizo, for this.
It's definitely that time.
we got to call it. But my god, everyone in the chat, thank you for checking in. And Reap Psyche says, Investigator Alligator, Lizard Man, dual class. I love that idea of having an investigator lizard man.
Oh, I just realized something before we go.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this before. Do you what vibe the Inventor class also really gives me, especially with the armor?
What's that?
You're a common rider. Or a Sentai.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, there's literally one of the Kamen Rider series is called Kamen Rider Build. And you can literally use different power-ups to change your characters. In Kamen Rider, pretty much you're cycling through your power-ups with a lot of these feats.
In fact, if I recall correctly, one of the abilities we have here is the ability to put on your armor as one action.
Yeah.
Right? So you could, in theory, as Kamen Rider, it has to be a two-handed action. You could be like, Kamen Rider, switch, and then the armor comes on. Oh my god.
And your Megaton Strike as a Kamen Rider with this class is Megaton Strike.
Yes. Oh my god. Reap Psyche says you could do a whole Kamen Rider crew in Pathfinder. Oh, they put Pathfinger, which makes me laugh too. Yeah. With different classes. Yes, you could take the Inventor free archetype with different classes to
I want to say everybody's an Inventor, but everybody has a different archetype.
It could be, you could do that too. And then your free archetype would be the class that you're like, okay, so I'm an Inventor, but I'm also a monk.
Okay, Reap Psyche, you get a inspiration point from me for knowing Kamen Rider Wizard, Build, Gunslinger, and all that stuff. That's the Mr. Kapow inspiration point.
That's right. That is good at every table with some limitations. We talked to your GM. Some limitations apply. I
will fight that GM if they don't allow. I will fight them. It would be a really ugly fight with some crying at the end, which is probably going to be from me. But yeah, I will fight them.
I love that somewhere right now there's a Pathfinder 2 table and there's some GM super pissed going, I don't know who PJ or Michael Powell is, but their hero points do not translate at my table. And we're here to tell you, yes, it does. We're everyone's GM. Shush, you're a player now. We love you. So that being said, I think we need to call this episode a day and say goodbye. We have been at the table, the only show that asks you to pull out your chair, get out your books, and join us at the table. Mr. Michael Powell, please tell them who you are and where they can find you on that sweet, sweet internet.
Well, I am Michael Powell, and you can find me all over the internet with my social media, which is at Mr. Kapow, that's MRKAPAO, or my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/MichaelPowDoesStuff, because I do a lot of stuff, such as my YouTube channel, which is called Fantastic Tales of Adventure. And also on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time here on Twitch, on the Toyzilla Network, I'm part of a show called Toyzilla Live, where we talk about toy news and nostalgia stuff. Oh, and I also want to really quick shout out on, I believe, next Thursday at 8 p.m. I kind of want to say, I think it's either next Thursday or the last Thursday of this month. I will be on live action roleplay as a certain character on Ryan Omega's show about angels and devils.
Yeah, the boardroom game looks really, really cool. I'm excited. He and I have a small surprise. No, I don't know if it's going to happen. Time will only tell, but he and I have a small surprise planned for that show as well. Hopefully we can do it. But until then, I'm a huge fan of that show. I love the whole idea of angels and devils working in corporate boardrooms. And if you haven't seen it, give it a shot. It's really good stuff. You remember Ryan? He was on our show. He was on our first Halloween show. Yep. So take a look at that.
He was our Shuni. He's our first ever Shuni character.
That's right. Named after his own older pug dog. But that being said, my name is PJ McGaw. You can find me all over the internet at pj.mcgaw, including TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and of course here on Twitch. You can find me at Nat20 Productions Official. When I'm not here Tuesday with Michael Powell, I'm here Wednesdays, 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, doing Edge of Legend. And I'm really excited for next episode. Hopefully it's going to be a lot of fun, and if not, it's certainly going to be funny, because there's going to be lots of goblins.
Oh, yeah.
And and this has been amazing. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Inventor Playtest, and we hope to see you here, same Nat time, same Nat channel, for part 3 of the Inventor, The Companions. We'll see you then.
Bye.